many times, but it's really hard. I am going to be doing a ranking, a tier list of every version of Boys Over Flowers. And if you don't know what that is, let me give you some backstory right now. It is about a girl named Tsukushi Makino, and she is going to a prestigious school. And at that school, she encounters the richest heirs in the entirety of her country. I say that because this show has been remade so many times that I could say that about Japan, I could say that about Taiwan, I could say that about China, and now in 2 weeks, I'm about to say that about Thailand. And so there's a lot of versions. And so I thought it would be interesting to rank them because there's a lot to discuss. I mean, in 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot to discuss. So I think we should do a breakdown today, and I'll let you know which ones I liked and for what reasons, and which ones I didn't like and for why those reasons keep them on low on the list. So I'm going to finish it up. The group that she encounters is called the F4, and the F4 are the richest heirs in the school and also in the country. And she gets into kind of like a beef with them. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, she basically offends them, or at least one of them, which is the leader, and his name is Tsukasa Domyoji. And he is hellbent on ruining her life until he realizes he might feel something for her. She's a bit different from every woman he's ever encountered, and he likes it. He likes her feistiness. She, on the other hand, is in love with his best friend, and his name is Louis Hanazawa, her knight in shining armor, her literal white angel, an angel in white. Like, he literally is always in white. He's her angel. The other two characters in the F4 are called Akira, and the other one is called Sojiro. It's basically a story about the love triangle between her, Tsukasa, and Louis Hanazawa, and other people that get in between their relationship. And it is great. The whole plot line is chef's kiss. Truly, truly it is. And today, I thought we would do a lovely tier list to tell you about all the beautiful things I like about each one. And so, let us get to it. Here is the tier list I have created. Ignore this weird Lane Bryant ad. I don't know why it's here. We are going to go through every version, every single one, except the musical. I didn't watch the musical. I'm not going to lie to you. Musicals are cool, but I didn't watch the musical for this, and I didn't think I had to because, why? Like, you're gonna get the same shit. Like, the songs, not gonna change the plot. The plot is what it is. And so, let us go through all 10 versions. All 10. Because why not? Okay, first off, we're going to be ranking the OG, the manga. The manga is the original. It came out in the early 90s, I believe. I will confront my my source list here to tell me if I am correct. It came out in the early 90s or like the late 1980s, and so it is the OG source material. It's the best. I'm not going to rank it low because it is that good, and so of course, because it is OG, it is S tier. It has to be. Has to be. It just gives us a great storyline. The plot is good. It was different for its time. I don't know. It's like, and it's also like, it brought us characters that are so drastically different from each other that I particularly like them. And I'll get into some of those characters along the way. But just ranking this out of the gate, A tier, or S tier, so amazing. All right, now we're gonna get into the second version of Hana Yori Dango, or Boys Over Flowers, which is actually the anime. The anime came out, I believe, in like 1993, 5, one of those goddamn years. And I think it was 3. And it was 51 episodes. And let me tell you, if you like the way that the manga is drawn, you might not like the way the anime illustration is. It's different. They're 2 different artists, which you can tell. And honestly, I like the way the manga illustrator did theirs. I'm sorry, I know It's just, I like it better. It's more round, like less harsh looking, less like really intense line work. And I just think it looks way softer, and it kind of cutifies or like makes the storyline not as drastic. There are some dark parts in Hana Yori Dango, which I can talk about in a second, but like, it's good. I will say the problem with the anime is that it's 51 episodes and it ends on a cliffhanger, because at the time I believe the manga wasn't finished, and so they had to clip it. They had to clip it somewhere. They had to like stop it somewhere, and so it ends on a wedding, or like a false wedding, or like a false like a false wedding between our main male character Tsukasa Domyoji and his forced fiance, like arranged marriage. Her name is Shigeru, and she is a very sweet girl who happens to be in love with Tsukasa for some reason. Maybe I should put like a spoiler alert warning. There's a spoiler alert. I'm gonna change the title on Twitch. There's a definite spoiler alert. Oh my god, please don't watch this and not know that there's a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Let me change that title screen. Letting you know right now. Hold on. Good god, please don't watch this and think that there are not spoilers. There are a ton of spoilers in this bitch. Anyways, she has a crush on Tsukasa. She is for like a forced engagement to him against his will. His mother is the one that did that. He is in love with Makino, and by the end of the damn, like, or the middle of the manga, she's in love with him too. So it's a basically like the mom doesn't think Makino's background or who she is good enough for Tsukasa, and so she makes him marry Shigeru, which he is not down for. And she is so enticed with him that she is down for it. And Shigeru and Makino become friends, which is a really weird thing that happens in the manga, which makes for a lot of awkward moments. But nevertheless, like, I fully digress. The animation is like this for the illustration for me. However, the plot follows the same. It's the same story. We're getting what we wanted. And so because of that, it has to be ranked high. I'm going to give it an A tier just because, I mean, what am I going to do? It's like so close to the original source. I can't knock it for just looking ugly. It's not my favorite style, but you know, it's whatever. Now we're going to get into a version that might not be as known or as watched as any other version, which I guess I would say for reasons of it's older. Like, it's really old. It's the first live action version of Hana Yori Dango, and it is the Japanese 1995 movie. And let me tell you, I'm just gonna rank it right now. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Hear me out. Hear me out. There is a reason. I understand the concept of making mangas and animes come to life, and some things cannot be transferred from paper to real life. And one of those is stupid comedic shit that doesn't work. Like the really exaggerated fake kicks, and I say kicks because I mean kicks, like a really exaggerated kick. Some of the over-the-top acting, some of the ridiculous clothing, and some shit that just doesn't work in 20 years later. And that is the problem with the 1995 version. It's a little dated. Not just because it's in 1995, but because of everything. The clothing was a little too exaggerated at the time. Some of the acting exaggerated. A lot of the stuff, and it's really condensed. I mean, this cannot actually be a movie. It's too short to be a movie. I think the movie's like an hour and 30 minutes. It's too short. It needs to be like 2.5 hours. This is a long fucking manga. And so everything being condensed the way it was, some of the acting, the girl that played Makino, I didn't really like her. It was just like, and the dude that plays Domyoji, I didn't like him either. It was just so, a lot of things that I can't knock it because it's the original live action, but I can knock it because it's like, it wasn't that good. And so it gets a C tier from me. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Why don't we actually transition to a good version of this? And that is the next Japanese live action, and that came out in, I believe, 2004, and the main actor who played Tsukasa Domyoji, Matsumoto Jun. Holy fucking hell. I love him to death. To death. I have seen so many things he's in. I fuck with him heavy. Maybe we should pull up some of these people that I'm talking about, because this is where I'm gonna get like real nerdy about stuff. Let me see. We're gonna do images. This is Matsumoto Jun, if you just needed like a reference to his face. I really like his acting. He's a very popular Japanese actor. He has been in many TV shows in Japan, and if you would like to watch him, he was in a bunch of stuff that I like Gokuzen and Kimi wa Peto, the first live action original version of Kimi wa Peto, and he did a fantastic job. Holy hell, he was really great. If you'd like to check him out, you really should. Drama List is a website that you can watch, like you can go through people's like filmography and see for like a lot of Asian dramas, and it's well worth. He's and that leads me to tell you that this is my favorite version. There, Hana Yori Dango is 2 seasons usually, and so they're cut between episodes. They're never really consistent. They're like, so Hana Yori Dango, the first Japanese TV show, is 2004, and then the second season came out in 2007, I believe, around that time. So there are 2 seasons, and let me tell you, I love every bit of this one. I love every bit of the Japanese version, every single thing. I like the main characters. I like the portrayal of Louis Hanazawa. It's my favorite portrayal of Louis Hanazawa. He is what he is. He's an angel in white. I mean, good God, he's so fucking cool. I like, I just had a voice crack, Jesus Christ. I like the portrayal of Akira and Sojiro. I think their characters are fun. And I think that I like the girl that plays Yuki. I like Mahino. I think the acting was great. This is the first Japanese TV show and like version, and they did a really good job. I liked every bit of it. Where I think they, again, have a lot of things that I think that got fixed from the movie to the TV version, which is some of that really stupid, exaggerated acting got corrected. It's still exaggerated, but it's not to the point of the movie version. That being said, there's a lot of over-the-topness that I really like. It's fun to watch it. If you ever watched an anime become live action, which is like Netflix's biggest thing, if you want to, like, I'm pointing at my TV, not just like randomly having my hand in the air. You know that like you can watch Bleach live action, you can watch that. Some of that shit is so stupid watching it in live action, but like this, chef's kiss. It is my favorite version for a reason. It's well acted, it's fun to watch. There's some dark parts in there that come from the manga, and then there's some really lighthearted parts that I really like. Out of all the versions, this one is absolutely my favorite. And I just like Matsumoto. I just like the character. I just love the actors. The actors are my favorite. I'm trying to think of anybody. No, everybody did really well. The character who played Domyoji's mother, oh my God, she did well. Everybody did a really good job. His sister, everybody. The girl who plays Shizuka, Jesus, like Shizuka is a character that Louis Hanazawa, the angel, he is in love with her since childhood, and she did a fantastic job. I liked every damn version, and or like every character portrayal, and so damn, it's really hard for me to pick, and I don't think I'm going to. It's my favorite version for a reason. It's well acted. It looks great. This one is timeless, and so for me, it's absolutely gonna be an A tier. I say this to say that I don't think anything could be S tier other than the original plot of anything. And so, and also, there are some things that I do think needed to be changed. I like the dark parts of Hana Yori Dango, but there are also some problematic things with it. For one, there's a scene where Tsukasa Domyoji finds Makino and Lee Hanazawa alone on a stairwell, which is a common plot that runs throughout Hana Yori Dango. And in it, he gets very aggressive with her, almost, well, actually forcing himself on her, to the point where it was a little like, that also is a theme that runs in the manga and the anime, and for that I want to clock them for it, because I hate the fact that there was like this weird abusive kind of behavior that happened, and I think that the Japanese version is too close to the source material for me to just kind of forgive it and forget it. But it is, I don't know, I'm stuck between it. It's my favorite version. It's just, I just don't know. I will say that everything can be worked on. It is older, but that I'm not gonna clock it for that. I think it's timeless. I just don't know. Maybe by the end of this ranking, I'll figure out if I'm gonna change that. But for now, it's an A tier. Let's get on to something more important, which is the original TV version, and that comes from Taiwan in 2000 or 2001. It is the OG TV version of Hana Yori Dango. It is called Meteor Garden. Yes, Meteor Garden. And it stars Barbie Sue, and she played Makino. I think her name in the Chinese and Taiwanese versions is Sunchai, and she did a very good job. I actually like this version for a lot of reasons. One is because they age up the characters. In the original manga and anime, the characters are in high school. The main characters are juniors in the first season, I believe seniors in the second, and Makino is either a freshman or a sophomore. She's like a year or two younger than them. I think it's 2 years, actually. I think she's a freshman while they're juniors. And I have a lot of problems with that. For one, there are concepts that are very adult-like that I wish that weren't placed on these high schoolers. Like, for instance, in the original like manga and anime, there's a clubbing scene. There's a character whose name is Sakurako, and that bitch crazy. And she goes to a club, and I don't know if that's like a Japanese thing to go to clubs when you're like under 18, but she's a kid, and I don't think that was appropriate. I know that I sound like an old lady, but like I'm 25 almost, and I just think it's like kind of weird to make high schoolers like go to clubs, even if it's like a teen club. I think she gets drugged or like drunk to the point like where she's like unconscious and doesn't remember waking up in a guy's bed. She's a high schooler. Makino, I'm talking about Makino. Makino is a high schooler. I don't think that should be promoted or talked about through high schoolers. However, it's something that follows you into adulthood. People are weird. They roofie you. All this other shit. I think it's okay that they age the characters up, and I actually wish they would have aged the characters up in the original. In the Taiwanese version, Meteor Garden, they are in college. She's a freshman in college. Makes way more sense that some of this weird shit is happening to her, like people getting drunk, or people going to clubs, or like openly talking about sex. Like it makes more sense that they're older, like 18 and up. So for that, I really like this version. Some other things, I like the portrayal that Barbie Sue did. She made Sunchai very sweet. That character, like Makino, that character is very tough, at least mentally. Like she's a very mentally tough person, very independent, very helpful, always at the aid of people she cares about. But she's also like a very young girl, still impressionable, still, fantasizing about, love and life. And I think that Sunchai did a good job of making her very sweet. Or like, not Sunchai, Barbie Sue did a very good job of making Sunchai a very sweet character that you like. Is she my favorite version? Sometimes she plays into the plot of that damsel in distress, and I don't like that. Also, this version actually is closer to like the animation version, with the sense of how Domyoji tortures other students, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, then it's going to completely go over your head. He is an asshole. I mean, he be torturing them students. In the animation, he hangs them on the school roof, and like by their feet and like they just hang over the roof on like by a rope. And like, that sounds stupid, which is what I said, that some things cannot be translated from 2D to like actual life. But I actually think they did a really good job of showing how he bullies people. There's one scene, I think it's a couple episodes in, where he actually starts liking Sunshine, that the Domyoji character actually like puts a girl in his trunk, and the other girl he drags her by a rope by her hands and on a car, and he drives while she like runs and follows and apologizes to him for fucking up or something. And it was wild. I don't think that that's a thing I want people now to see, but like then it was funny. I don't know. It's kind of hard. Again, it's like, it's weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I think the abuse definitely has gone down per every version. This is the oldest TV version, and so it's dated for sure. And when I say it's dated, oh bitch, I mean it's dated. The clothes from the 90s, holy fucking hell. The fucking sweater vest, bitch. And also, Jerry Yan, I think that's his name. He's the one that plays Tsukasa's character. He wears like a basketball, like the sweatband headband thing, and it is so ugly. After a while, you just really want to hit him. You're like, take that shit off. The dude that plays Louis Hanazawa is a little bit too awkward to the point where it was uncomfortable. Like, it kind of looked like he had like some type of social disorder. Louis Hanazawa is shy and weird, but I don't know if he has a social disorder. Maybe he does. He has like a very antisocial personality, but he's just really shy and in his own head a lot. I don't know if I'm trying to really break down the character as much as, like, I'm not that invested in these characters. I love them. I really do love the story, and I invested into the characters, but like maybe I don't know the psychology behind these characters. A lot of people said that he shows signs of like having a mental disorder or some type of neurological thing. I am not here to like diagnose him. He's shy. He has a very antisocial way of doing things. I like his character. I think he's a really sweet kind of passerby type of character, very bystander-y kind of character. In this version, he's a little too weird for me. Just not my favorite way. Just not my favorite way of seeing him. The girl he's in love with, Shizuka, in this version, she's gorgeous. Holy hell, that actress, beautiful. That's a beautiful woman. Vanessa Wu, I think Vanessa Wu plays Akira. Akira, again, is a background character. He does not do a lot. The Sojiro in this one is not my favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Sojiro character in no. He is, this is a no from me, dog. I did not like him. I don't like the girl that played Yuki. I don't like the chick that played Sakurako. I'm not gonna lie to you. This version, it's okay. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I think it's so, for its time, it's good, and it'll grow on you if you watch it. I've watched every one of these a couple of times, so maybe I have no room to speak. I've seen them all, like, you know, I watched them all. But I'm gonna have to rate it, and I don't know where I'm gonna put this bitch. I want to say it's better than the movie, but I don't want to say it's better than the manga. Yeah, it's going to be B tier. B tier for sure. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Okay, now we're going to get to the most famous version. The most famous version, which is the Korean version, which is Boys Over Flowers. It's one of the most iconic versions of Boys Over Flowers, like Hana Yori Dango, and it's also one of the most iconic Korean dramas you'll ever see. It's very, very well known. I like it, and now I have a problem because I said the Taiwanese version is B tier, but it might be lower. I really, really, really like the Taiwanese version, but that might just be nostalgia. If I look back at it, it's definitely not my favorite version. I don't watch it quite often. Actually, you know what? Now that we're here, the Japanese version is S tier. It's my favorite one. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to put it at S tier. I'm not going to even front. I love it that much. But let's get into it. If I could make a category in between A and B, like a B plus, like a B like a solid B minus. Not a B minus, like a B plus, like in the middle. That is where I would put the fucking Korean version. And here is why. It is good, the Korean version that stars Lee Min Ho. It is really good. But it's not my favorite. It is such a forgettable Korean drama for me, and I know that it's like one of the most famous Korean dramas like of all time that came out in like 2008 or 9 or one of those years. But it's not my favorite, and I can't tell you why. Maybe it's because in the Korean version they change so many little things that it's kind of like stupid. Like for instance, this is something I've always wanted to talk about. There is a scene or like a thing where Domyoji is battling Makino and Louis Hanazawa for their rights to go to school. He is going to kick them out of school because he is so hurt by their love affair that he wants them expelled. And this is really weird, but this is an actual thing in the plot, like in the original plot. They play basketball in the original version as like a tiebreaker between them. And in it, it's like Louis Hanazawa teaches Makino how to play basketball so they can win. He uses his power of distraction to piss off Domyoji by giving her a kiss on the forehead. And it's like a thing. Again, spoiler fucking alert. In the Korean version, I think it's a three trial, like a 3-man. Actually, it might just be one race, but I can't remember if it's 1 race or it's 3 in the Korean version. But whatever the case may be, one of them, or the only one, is a NASCAR race where they drive and the reason why it's weird and stupid is because, for one, I know that we have a different budget than the original. I know our budget is way up there than the original, but like a NASCAR race, really? They're a bunch of high schoolers. Why the fuck? Why? And 2, if you don't understand the reason why they have a NASCAR race and not a basketball like tournament or like contest, is because there's background to Louis Hanazawa's character. They add this in, by the way. It's not in the original. They add this background in. How his parents died in a car crash and now he's traumatized and like has a phobia of driving. And if you watch the Korean version, the only version, is that's your only version you ever watch, you will think that that's in the original plot, and it's not. That is something they change, and I didn't realize that until I watched it, where I was like, they don't do this in the original. Like, they're not having a fucking NASCAR race, 1. And 2, actually, something I don't like, which is another thing that they change about the Korean version, which changes the entirety of how Makino goes to this school. Makino goes to this prestigious school because she's smart, and that's how she got in. And that's in the original. She's capable, and that's how she got in to this school. In every version, that's usually how it is. She's smart, she gets into the school. In the Korean version, it's totally a 180. She's not smart, and that's how she gets in. She is doing a delivery of I think her parents either run a restaurant or they run like a laundromat in the Korean version. I think it's a laundromat. And she does a delivery to the school, and she sees someone about to unalive themselves on the school roof, and she saves them from doing it. And that's how she gets into the school. And I don't like that. I think that was weird to add that in. I think it's unnecessary to make people unalive themselves in order to further a plot line. And I thought that, what did that do? What the fuck did that do? Like, I got her into the school. Why couldn't she just have been smart and got it? Why did someone have to almost themselves in order for her to get into the school? I don't know. Little shit like that really makes me not like the Korean version, or at least not want to rewatch it a lot. It's just kind of like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's just kind of like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's definitely not my favorite version. It's not the worst, though. And I will say this about the Korean version. Everybody in the Korean version, hot. Everybody in the Korean version is so pretty. Especially the person that plays Shizuka. That lady is fucking beautiful. She's a Korean model, and when I say she a model, she hot. Everybody in the Korean version is hot. is hot as fuck. I will say that for the Korean version. Everybody's good looking. You want something to sell, you want someone to watch your damn show, get a bunch of hot people. They are hot as fuck. And I will say that definitely is like a seller. I'm trying to think of something else that Sojiro's character in the actual Korean version is my favorite version of Sojiro. I think it's because, I don't know, I just like that actor. I don't know if his name is Dowon or something like that, but he's actually really cool. I thought his acting was really good, and the girl that played Yuki, she did a good job. I liked her too. Some areas I thought she was a bit whiny. I do like the portrayal of Makino in this version. I don't know the Korean names, and I like Jandi or whatever the fuck. I can't really remember them. I like the portrayal of Makino in this version. I think she's the toughest Makino, and I like her for that reason. She's the toughest version out of all of them, and I fuck with that heavy. Later on, we'll talk about how every version of Makino is kind of just somewhat different, like various versions of each other, but there's so, like, little things about them make them so different. And I think in the Korean version, she's the strongest one, and I like her for that reason. And so, as much as they change a little shit that I think is stupid, they add characters that I didn't think I'd like. They add Louis Hanazawa's grandfather. He lives with him. He's the one taking care of him. I like that. I like some of the things they do. It's not my favorite version. If you would ask me a couple years ago what I'd rank it a C. But now I definitely am going to be ranking it B tier. If I could rank it B plus tier, I would, but there is no B plus tier. But I rank it in between A and B. It's good. And it deserves the hype. I don't know all of it, but it deserves a good amount of the hype. It's a good version. And that is how I feel about it. It's well acted. This one is timeless. I do say the way that Lee Min-ho is dressed in this is a bit aged, but everybody else I like. I like the Louis Hanazawa in this version. I think he is the most attractive in this version. Like I said, everybody in the Korean version is hot. I don't know why, they just are. But it looks good to watch, and that's something that's always a selling factor for a show. And it's acted well. Is it my favorite acting? No. Not at all. Not at all, bitch. Not at all. But it's good. And that's why it's at B. All right. Let's talk about something a little different. I want to get into something that would technically not be considered a version of Boys Over Flowers, but is because it literally is the plot line. And that is Meteor Shower, that came out in 2009 or 11, one of those damn years, in China. It was produced by Hunan TV, and it is a unlicensed version of Hana Yori Dango that China produced. And let me tell you what that means. And that means it's stolen. It is illegal to steal someone's plot line and content and creation without crediting them and making a profit off of it. This is a stolen version of Hana Yori Dango, and China produced it in the late 2000s and early 2010s. And damn, when I tell you it was popular, oh, bitch, it was popular. This is a very popular Hana Yori Dango, even though it's technically not supposed to be. And the way that they avoided copyright is they changed a lot of the things, like the Korean version, that are so stupid in the background without changing the main parts of it to avoid a lawsuit. And that means, for instance, I told you the love story between Sojiro, who is one of the F4, and Yuki, which is Makino, the main character's best friend, is a thing. In this version, it's a bit different. Sojiro's character actually falls in love with Domyoji's sister in this version. Why? To avoid lawsuit. To avoid a lawsuit. I swear to you, it is the dumbest thing. Other things like Shizuka. Shizuka is a girl that the F4 grows up with, and Louis Hanazawa has a crush on her since he's a child. In this version, they're in high school, I believe, and Shizuka is actually a piano teacher that Louis Hanazawa falls in love with. Why? Who the fuck knows? I think it really has to do with like just they had to change as much as they could about this stupid shit because they have to keep the original plot line of Makino, Domyoji, Louis Hanazawa, Akira, Sojiro, F4. They have to keep this concept, but they have to change so much because they don't want a lawsuit. And I don't know if a lawsuit happened. I really don't. I don't know if a lawsuit happened. I don't know if someone sued. I don't know nothing about that. But what I do know is that this is an unlicensed version that many people don't talk about, even though it was so popular in China. It was so popular in China that it has such a following that I'm pretty sure that Dylan Wang, who played in the legal version, in the Chinese legal version that came out in 2018, actually met some of this cast from this version from a long time ago. And so, you know, because it's stolen and because it was not authorized by the original creator and the actual company that owns Hana Yori Dango, the rights to Hana Yori Dango, it is a fucking F tier, because how dare you take some shit and try to profit off it, actually profit off it. How dare you like profit off this idea that you did not create, steal, and then change stupid shit about it to avoid a lawsuit? What kind of cunts? I don't like that. I know that I just said cunts, but like, come on, seriously, disgusting. It's disgusting. It's called Meteor Shower. If you want to watch it, you can. It's on YouTube. I don't know if it has translations, but I did see at least half of it, and it was awful. The acting, in my opinion, is, ugh. And that's not because it's stolen. That's literally just because it's not well acted. I thought it was a bit tacky. Some of these actors at this point are really new. I've never seen any of them act before. I think that was most of their first work, and let me tell you, it was not good. They needed more smaller roles before they got this big role. They did not do well, in my opinion. And you're talking about, like, when I just said like some things don't translate from the like 2D to real life. You're talking about exaggerated stupid shit. This exaggerated acting that's really stupid and doesn't work. This version is awful in every other sense of the word. It's my least favorite version, and it's just shitty acted. It's stolen. It's badly acted. It's aged. You're talking about if you aged the clothes age it alone. I don't even think in comparison to the Japanese and the Korean version that this looks like younger, because it's younger than those versions and it looks older than them. It is the worst and I hate it. But that being said, it is not the worst. It is not the worst version of Hana Yori Dango, because the worst has been yet to come. You see this in the corner? You see this over here? I don't know if you can see this on the screen. I'm gonna pick it up and show you it a little bit. I mean, if I could, I want to write on it so you guys can see it. This little thing next to my face, this little blue, light blue square with these 3 white people in it. I say that to say I was at one point an online version of Hana Yori Dango. It was a web series. It was called Boys Before Friends. Bitch, if I could look this shit up for you. Hold on. I want to tell you about it. But I don't want to like get away from our tier list. It was called Boys Before Friends. And when I talk about something is a failure, when I say something is a failure, it's Boys Over Friends. And let me explain why. Boys Over Friends came out online in like 2013. It was America's, or like at least some weird production company's first attempt at recreating a Asian drama through a web series for American audience. And let me tell you, when I say that this is the worst version of Hana Yori Dango, I said the worst version of Hana Yori Dango is this bullshit unlicensed Chinese version. I might have to change the tier list right now, simply because I didn't think anything could get worse than that version, this Chinese version that came out in the late 2000s, until Boys Before Friends came out. Bitch, when I tell you it's the worst thing I've ever seen. First off, let me tell you how many episodes it had. 6, bitch. It only had 6. It only has 6 episodes. It only had 6 web series episodes. And let me tell you, most of them have been removed offline. Why? Why, you may ask? Why? Because it was so bad and there was so much problems behind the scenes of the actual production part of it that it just went to shit. And I say this to say that in the original version, there were 3 different castings. 3 different castings for the girl who played Makino. And her name in the American version is Zoe Taylor. Bitch. It was just bad. First off, Domyoji's name is Leah Montgomery. Why did we make it so white? It's so mayonnaise material that it really hurts. Basically, how they changed this plot in order to make it more digestible for an American audience is that obviously they made a bunch of white people, and there were some people of color in there. There were some Asians and other shit. I think there was a black chick. But they made them go to a rich and elite school. And Zoe is on a scholarship because she is an aspiring dancer. Let me just talk about why that is annoying for me. As cool as I am about people being in the arts, why does she have to be a dancer? In the Japanese live action version with Matsumoto Jun, Makino's character is trying to be in law school. She's trying to be a lawyer. Why would you make her an art student who's being a dancer? Why? She had really, not to say that something's wrong with dancing. That's a high aspiration, especially if you want to be a choreographer. But she wanted to be a lawyer. Do you see the fucking hoops and fucking shit that you had to jump through in order to get from lawyer to dancer? I don't even know if you can see my hands on the screen. From lawyer to dancer. Do you understand the jump that someone must make to get from A to Z? It doesn't make any fucking sense. And I say this to say I don't understand why they would make this change. It is weird. Second, if you want to talk about abuse, there is a scene where they go into the female locker room, and again, I told you before, there was some forcing themselves on Makino. This is a scene where they try to threaten her in the beginning of the show. I wish I had this shit on video for you. They've removed it from Vimeo, which is the only place you could have watched it, I believe, or Viki. No, it was on Vimeo. It was on Vimeo, and I cannot watch it anymore. You can only watch the last 2 episodes where they completely divert from the original plot and they just make their own bullshit show. If I could show you the original 4 episodes of this bitch, I would. I would, sweetheart. If you're gonna talk about bad everything, bad props, terrible makeup and style, that wig that Domyoji wears as his curly hair or his long hair, and they cut it off and he has this fucking basic ass white man haircut. If I could show you what I mean, I would, bitch. I fucking would. It was trash, garbage, acting. If you're talking about a student college film, bitch, this is it. It is bad. I don't know how much money they had behind this production, but it must have been 4 cents, because I don't know who wrote this shit, but it was terribly acted. The fact that they had so many production problems where they changed the main cast of the lead more than once, just too many issues. The casting issues, the actual behind the scenes issues. I think there was problems with inner fighting amongst the production crew, and there were so many replacements and so much plot change and just weirdness. Awful. The dude who played Leah Montgomery or Tsukasa Domyoji, terrible. Everything about this is not good. If I could make a Hana Yori Dango, bitch, if I could make a Hana Yori Dango, that being said, F tier. F for failure. And when I say failure, I'm not trying to be mean. You can go online, you can type in drama list, and you can type in Boys Before Friends, and it'll say in the title of, I think, a fan-made article, The Failure of Boys Over Friends. I am not the only one that feels a certain type of way about Boys Over Friends. It is awful. It is awful. I said I wanted to do this in 30 minutes. It's been 45. I don't know how to, like, consecutively crush this down and compromise. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. I don't know how to make this shorter. That's what I'm saying. The point being is, the failure of this, trash. I wouldn't wish the first 4 episodes of this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish all of this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't specifically wish those first 4 episodes where there was one girl that played Makino in the first episode, and then by the second episode she was replaced. Or by the third or whatever episode, she was replaced instantly. No words. Garbage. Just trash. Just, oh my lord. I don't wish this on my worst enemy. I don't wish this on my worst enemy. Let me read you from boysoverflowersfandom.com, like a little excerpt about reception from this, like the people's reception. Prior to the airing, the casting of the older actors received criticism from Japanese internet users, for good fucking reason. Additionally, many American viewers thought it was unrealistic for the setting to be changed to a college instead of high school. That is really not the criticism that I'm having. It makes sense. In certain versions, they change it from high school to college. They changed that from the 2018 version, from the Chinese 2018 version, Meteor Garden. And they changed it from the other Meteor Garden, the Taiwanese version that came out in the early 2000s. That is not a criticism that I have of this. I have a criticism with the next part of this, is which further criticism was leveled at the show's editing, lighting, characterization, and acting. Everything, like those 4 things, the editing, it's choppy. When I talk about it's choppy, it's fucking choppy. The lighting. I don't know who made this production, but how am I supposed to see it? I can barely see what I'm looking at. Why am I watching this? It's like a black screen. And 3, the characterization. They changed so many stupid shit about the characters. They not only make her a strong woman, they make her one of those women that you don't like. Like, she's strong, but she's like, doesn't know how to be kind. She's just aggressive for no reason. And I don't like that about her in the first episode. This Zoe Taylor. And the 4th criticism, which is the acting. And that's really where it fails miserably at, is it is poorly acted. It is poorly acted. I don't know what the people are doing like now. And I do know, however, that the chick that played, I say chick, I mean like the woman that played Zoe in the original episode, the first episode, the actual debut episode, I know she's actually a background actress. I know she's done a couple of different things. I've actually seen her and other stuff. Sometimes I watch TV or like a movie and I'm like, is that? And I saw her one time. So I know she's actually doing other work as like a background actress. But for the rest of them, I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. If I could show you the oh my God. How do I show you my screen? Let me. Sorry, Matsumoto Jun. When I tell you, oh my God, it's like not catching up with me. Sorry, sometimes my computer is so slow. First off, Boys Before Friends. What is this title? Oh, hold on. My bad. Me not knowing what I'm trying to spell. Just look what I'm working with. Just look what we're working with. Just do you see this? Do you see these? Do you see what we're working with? Do you see this? Yeah, no. Just garbage. No. And that's why. No. Goodbye. F tier. If Hana Yori Dango wants an American version, I will make it. I can make it better. I am so invested. I can make it better. Anyways, we're going to go to the last 2 versions, which I'm going to say that I'm really sad we're about to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. I'm depressed because I really want to keep talking, but let's head off to the most recent version and the most, in my opinion, known by this generation, and that is Gen Z generation, which is Netflix's Hana Yori Dango. It's called Meteor Garden. It came out in 2018, and it stars Dylan Wang as Tsukase Domyoji. Forgot the main actress's name. Good fucking God. There's, again, so many versions of it, I cannot remember. Anyways, these names that follow in the Chinese 2018 version are the same that follow in the Taiwanese version, Sunshine, names like that. And that's because like Mandarin, same language, anyways. And this version is a good version. It's this little one right here at the bottom in the corner next to me. It's a good version. It is a very well acted version, and it is a very modernized version. It's from 2018, so it looks new. The camera work looks new. The clothing looks updated. The problems that are in the originals over here have been changed. There's less abuse and criminal activity. Less of that, thank God. And because that in itself does not work in 2021 because it's problematic as fuck. And it's cleaned up, and I like that. I like the acting. I like the portrayal. I like Sojiro and Akira's characters in here. We have a lot of growth with those characters. For every version you ever see of Hana Yori Dango, Akira is like a character that really doesn't have anything going on. In this version, he actually has something going on. So they gave him a background, which I really like. That is a lot of growth. Akira really doesn't have a lot of plot. And this version, he has a good amount of plot. So thank God. I like Sojiro's character. He is way sweeter in this version. Sojiro kind of comes off as a dick in the beginning. He's so sweet in this version. He does not come off rude at all, unless there was that one episode. But he's usually really nice. I like his character a lot. I will say in this version, there's some weirdness. For instance, I don't know what kind of copyright music they got, like fucking Lester music or whatever. Like they got some copyright music in here that is, it's called Like a River. That's the song, and it plays so. It's like the only song on the soundtrack of this goddamn show that plays so fucking much, and it is not a good song. It does not fit any of this. It does not fit this drama at all. It's weird. It plays so often. It played in the wedding scene. Why? I have no fucking idea. It is weird. That is weird. However, I like all the acting. I like Dylan Wang's character. I like the woman that plays Makino. I think their relationship is far cuter than any of the versions up in this bitch. It's cuter. It's way sweeter, way more modernized, way less abusive. It's definitely more for this day and age. And it was good. I liked everything about it. It definitely stuck closer to the original source material, which I liked. The Korean version and the American Boys Before Friends definitely diverted a lot from the original storyline when it comes to lesser things that don't really need to be changed, like the race, like the games they played and all that other shit that's kind of stupid. Like, why would you change that? However, I like this. There is something in the beginning that is very different, though, from the original, and that is they play like a game of, like, show or some shit like that. They play like a card game in the beginning as I don't even know how to describe it. It's like she offends Domyoji. They play a card game as like a way to establish dominance or some shit. It was kind of stupid. Shit like that. But it's not big. It's not big. He's the most likable in this version, Domyoji. And I will say that it's a good version. Where it ranks, I don't know. I would say it ranks, God, what would I say? It's good. Is it better than I don't know. It's so hard to rank them all correctly. except the last two. It was very easy to rank those last two. That I don't know where I put it. It's one of my favorite versions. I've rewatched it. However, it is long. It's 50 episodes and they're an hour each. It is one of the longest versions of Hana Yori Dango. Hana Yori Dango in the Japanese version, quick. Okay, it's quick. This, however, is really long to watch. That's a lot of Chinese dramas, though. They're super fucking long. I will say I get docked for that. Like, you can condense some of that shit. Like I said, the Japanese movie's too short because it's only like an hour and a half. The Chinese drama from 2008 is so long that some of that can be cut out and condensed. Damn, this is really hard. Fuck. I'm gonna have to say it's A tier. No, B tier. It's B tier. And I'm gonna say if we were actually ranking it, I'd put it between the Korean version and the original Taiwanese 2000 version. I would put it between there. It has to be like manga top tier, Japanese version like right next to it, anime, Korean version. Oh yeah, Korean version maybe on the same weight, like the same plane as how about we do this? How about we do that? How about we, yeah, let's drag the Taiwanese version from 2000. Yeah, this is the correct ordering. Sorry, we have to see it correctly. Manga, Japanese TV show, anime, Korean TV show, Chinese 2018 version, Taiwanese 2000 version, Japanese movie, and then the illegal version. And then the American version. Like, if I could put it in the fucking ground, the American version, I would. And now we are coming to an end. Because we only have one more version left. And I actually cannot rank this. Oops, I went down, my bad. And I actually cannot rank this correctly. Because we actually haven't gotten to this version yet. And that is the Thai version that is coming out in less than 2 weeks from now. I can't rank this because it hasn't come out yet. It is going to be starring two very lovely Thai actors. Oh, I don't want to do that. One of them is named Bright, who is this beautiful, beautiful man. And the other is named Metawin or Win. Again, a very beautiful looking man. They are going to be the faces of GMM TV's. What the hell? Why did my thing go away? God damn it. I don't know where my tier list went. Anyways, they're going to be the main characters starring in the, why is this being so stupid? Anyways, I don't know why this is loading weird. Point being is that they're going to be the main people in the Thai version. The Thai version is, what is the Thai version called? The Thai version is called the F4 Thailand Boys Over Flowers. I believe that's the whole name. I wish they would have condensed the title. I don't know why they have to say it's the version of Thailand. We get it, it's the version of Thailand. They could have found some way to I don't know, work that in. Anyways, Win and Bright are very popular actors. I will say that. I have recently seen them in, oh God, what's that one show that they're in? Okay, so in Thailand, there's a very popular channel or a corporation called GMM TV, and they are in a very popular show in it. And I think that's one of the reasons why they got the main roles, because they actually are one of the most popular amongst the entire company. Those two actors are the most popular in the company currently as male leads. And so I'm really excited to see them. I think they're going to do a fantastic job. I like them. I already know them, so I already like them already. I am a little concerned with the fact that, come on, man, there was already a version that just came out less than 5 years ago. And I don't know if we need a new one so early, so soon. I don't want to discourage Thailand from creating their own version, but it's just kind of like, it's so early to be putting out another Hana Yori Dango. There's one that just came out in 2018. It's only 2020. But that being said, I want Thailand to have their own version. It's actually going to be the first Southeast Asian version. The other ones are from East Asia, China, Taiwan, Korea, Japan. This is the actual only Southeast Asian version, and I'm kind of excited for that alone. And so I don't want to discredit, I don't want to take away some of the... I saw the trailer. You can watch the trailer. It's on YouTube. I'm excited. I don't want to criticize it and beat it up before I actually watch it. But it does come out in less than 2 weeks. I think it comes out December 12th, 13th on, and I think you can watch it on YouTube because GMMTV uploads everything on YouTube. So get ready for that. I'm going to watch and come back and tell you if I liked it or not. But that is it for our ranking list. We're going to leave this up to a mystery, this little last one, because we don't know how it's going to go. Thank you for watching me rank every version of Hana Yori Dango. And get ready for the Thai version that comes out in less than 2 weeks from now. It's going to be on GMMTV. You can check it out on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you can buy a subscription and buy the show online or whatever the fuck. But thank you for watching. And I will update you guys later on how I feel about the first episode when it comes out. But for now, you know, stay positive. Have a good day, and don't forget to follow or what the fuck ever. I want to keep growing this platform as much as I can, but I realize that it's going to take a while, so that's fine. I'm glad we could geek out and share our interests in Hana Yori Dango or Boys Over Flowers. If you'd like me to rank other dramas that have big franchises